All right, I'll go ahead and call this meeting of the Sequim City Council to order. If everybody will please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance.
States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
And if the city clerk will please take roll call.
Counselor Kelly Berger.
Here.
Counselor Dan Butler.
Here.
Counselor Pete Temslin. Counselor Rachel Anderson.
Present.
Counselor Brandon Denise.
Present.
Counselor Harmony Rudder. Here. And Counselor Nicole Hartman.
Here.
Is there any changes to the final agenda? I do have one. I just want to pull. Is it at? 10D off of consent. I don't have any issues with it. I just, after thinking more on it, I just want to recuse myself on that one. So that's all I want to do on that one. So I just want to pull that off. No, anything else? Any opposed? Does that change? All right, there's a motion to approve as amended.
Move to approve as amended.
And I will second that.
All right, any opposed? I see none. That motion to approve the consent agenda or approve the agenda as amended passes. All right, moving on, item 5, oaths of office, city clerk.
All right, we have 3 oaths of office tonight, and we will start with Pete. So if you want to come to the podium. And you repeat after me. Raise your right hand. I, Pete Temslin,
I, Pete Temslin,
do solemnly swear or affirm
I do solemnly swear or affirm
that I am a citizen of the United States
that I'm a citizen of the United States
in the state of
and
Washington,
the state of Washington,
that I am legally qualified
that I'm legally qualified
to assume the office
to assume the office
of City of Sequim Council Position Number 3,
of City of Sequim Council Position Number 3.
that I will support the Constitution
I will support the Constitution
and laws of the United States
and laws of the United States
and the state of Washington,
and the state of Washington.
and that I will faithfully and impartially
I will faithfully and impartially
discharge the duties of this office
the duties of this office
to the best of my ability.
to the best of my ability.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
And Rachel Anderson. I, Rachel Anderson,
I, Rachel Anderson,
do solemnly swear or affirm
do solemnly swear or affirm
that I am a citizen of the United States of America
that I am a citizen of the United States of America
and the state of Washington,
and the state of Washington,
that I am legally qualified
that I am legally qualified
to assume the office
to assume the office
of City of Sequim Council Position Number 4,
of City of Sequim Council Position Number 4,
that I will support the Constitution
that I will support the Constitution
and the laws of the United States
and the laws of the United States
and the state of
and
Washington,
the state of Washington,
and that I will faithfully and impartially
and that I will faithfully and impartially
discharge the duties of this office
discharge the duties of this office
to the best of my abilities.
to the best of my abilities.
Congratulations. I, Brandon Janice,
I, Brandon Janice,
do solemnly swear or affirm
do solemnly swear or affirm
that I am a citizen of the United States
that I am a citizen of the United States
and the state of Washington,
and the state of Washington,
that I am legally qualified
that I am legally qualified
to assume the office
to assume the office
of City of Sequim Council Position Number 5,
of City of Sequim Council Position Number 5,
that I will support the Constitution
that I will uphold the Constitution
and laws of the United States
and laws of the United States
and the state of
and
Washington,
the state of Washington,
and that I will faithfully and impartially
that I will faithfully and impartially
discharge the duties of this office
faithfully discharge the duties of this office
to the best of my
to
ability.
the best of my ability.
Congratulations.
All right, we'll stay with the city clerk for the election of mayor and deputy mayor.
Alrighty, so I'm going to read the steps, the process for election of the mayor, and the process will follow the same for the deputy mayor. So I will do the election for the mayor. I will turn it over to the newly elected mayor, and they will handle the process for the election of the deputy mayor. So whoever is elected, I have a cheat sheet for you. So, no nominations will be accepted until the announcement. Councilor members may nominate themselves. Council members will raise their hand and be recognized by the clerk before making a nomination, and nominations do not require a second. Nominations will be taken by who raises their hand first. Should two people raise their hand at the same time, nominations will be based on their position order. Each council member may nominate one person, and the city clerk will call for nominations 3 times. After the nomination period is closed, there can be no further nominations, and a nominee who wishes to decline the nomination must do so immediately after the nomination period is closed. After the nomination period is closed, each candidate for office will have 3 minutes to speak on why they should be elected. Nominations are not debatable motions, so the floor will be closed to other council members. The clerk will then take a vote on each candidate nominated in the order in which they were nominated. Council members will raise their hands in order to cast a yes vote. Council members can only vote for one candidate, and abstentions are not permitted. If a candidate receives a majority of 4 in the first round of voting, that candidate will be elected mayor. And with that, I will open up the nomination period. Harmony?
I would like to nominate Brandon Janice.
Okay.
I'll nominate Rachel Anderson.
All right. Are there any other nominations?
I was just going to say, I'm really grateful for the continuity that we have as a council and grateful for the leadership that we've enjoyed in this last term. So thank you for those nominations.
Are there any other nominations? No nominations? I think that's 3. So nominations are councilors will raise their hand to cast a yes vote for Councilor Janice.
Quick question.
Yes.
Do we need the 3 minutes to say why we feel we should be mayor?
Somebody wishes to decline. You are correct. Thank you. So Councilor Janice, you were nominated first. So if you would please speak to why you would.
I guess I'll just be quick. I'll accept the nomination. I guess it'll just come down to whether or not everybody on this council accepts and appreciates my leadership over the last 2 years, and whether or not they approve the direction and leadership that I've offered, and is willing to see 2 more years of it. So that's all I really have. So
Counselor Anderson.
I'm deeply honored by the nomination. Thank you so much. I guess I would say that in the last couple years, I have tried really, really hard to step up and try and bridge any gaps. I have tried to stay engaged and involved. I really hope staff isn't sick of me because I spend so many hours in the office. I think that being mayor is, it's really important to be participatory, to be engaged, and to always meet people where they are. What else? I think it's important that the mayor of our small town really values moving forward with tech and the digital age, and moving ahead and updating all of our policies, while also keeping in mind how important it is to remember where we came from. And it's important to be unbiased. It's important to make data-driven decisions. It's important to hear everybody's input. And I think I try really hard to do all of those things. Yeah, there we go.
Okay, now I will take, if you please cast your votes. So votes for Counselor Janice. 2, 3. And votes for Counselor Anderson. All right, Counselor Anderson, congratulations, 4-3.
Thank you so much. All right, I'm going to go grab that script from the city clerk. All right. So now we will move on to the nomination and election of deputy mayor. I'll read my handy dandy script. Thank you for printing this, by the way, very helpful. The mayor will open a nomination period for the position of deputy mayor with an announcement. No nominations will be accepted until the announcement. Council members may nominate themselves. Council members will raise their hand and be recognized by the mayor before making a nomination, and nominations do not require a second. Nominations will be taken by who raises their hand first. Should 2 people raise their hand at the same time, the nominations will be taken based on the order of position number. Each council member may nominate 1 person. The mayor will call for nominations 3 times before closing the nomination period. After the nomination period is closed, there can be no further nominations. A nominee who wishes to decline the nomination must do so immediately after the nomination period is closed. After the nomination period is closed, each candidate for office will have 3 minutes to speak as to why they should be elected. Also, nominations are not debatable motions, so the floor will be closed to other council members. The mayor will then take a vote on each candidate nominated in the order in which they were nominated. Council members will raise their hands in order to cast a yes vote. Council members can only vote for 1 candidate, and abstentions are not permitted. If a candidate receives a majority vote for 4 or more in the first round of voting, that candidate will be elected mayor. Give me one moment so I can keep track. I'm going to grab a pen. Sorry. All righty. I will now open. Oh, excellent. That's very helpful. Thank you. Okay. I will now open nominations. Nicole.
I'd like to nominate Harmony Rudder.
I'd like to nominate Brandon.
All right, that was the first call for nominations. This is the second call for nominations. Harmony.
I would like to take this moment to thank you, Nicole, profoundly from the bottom of my heart. I'm truly honored. Thank you for the nomination, but I'm going to decline to be considered by this council. Thank you, thank you, thank you. This is not my time. So thank you very much. Appreciate that. So if there's any other nominations, let's go for it.
Before I accept or decline, I like to view typically the deputy mayor position as somebody that would like to be mayor at some point in the future. So if there's anybody that likes to have that aspiration at some point, Kelly, Nicole, that's willing.
Harmony.
I was going to say I was going to nominate you, Nicole, because I really appreciate what you've brought. Yes. So if
The deputy mayor is definitely a good learning experience,
I would accept that.
much as I would enjoy being deputy mayor again.
All right.
But thank you, Dan.
This is the last call for nominations.
I'll accept it if Nicole is it, just that way we're not saying.
All right, the nomination period is now closed. Brandon, if you would like to speak for 3 minutes on why you feel you should be voted for deputy mayor.
I would say keep it short and sweet. I've been deputy mayor and mayor, so that's all I will say.
All right. Nicole.
I do want to express my appreciation for the work that Harmony's put in with going through all the training with the Association of Washington Cities, and I aspire to do likewise. But I enjoy the work, and I'm looking forward to continuing to grow along with the City of Sequim.
All righty. We will now take a vote on each candidate that was nominated in the order they were nominated. So if you would like to vote for Brandon, please raise your hand. Okay, I just want to make sure I got everybody's hands. For Brandon, put your hands up. Thank you. Okay, I feel like I'm on a swivel here. Okay. Okay, those who would like to vote for Nicole, raise your hand. All righty. Congratulations, Nicole. You are deputy mayor. Sorry, my computer signed out. 1 second. There it goes. All righty. Moving on to ceremonial. We have 2 proclamations tonight. The first one I will read in honor of Martin Luther King Jr. Day. Whereas on January 15th, 1929, Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. was born in Atlanta, Georgia, when racial segregation was the law of the land. And whereas Dr. King Jr. became a great civil rights leader who challenged us to make the real promise of America as a land of freedom, equality, opportunity, and brotherhood through peaceful protest and nonviolent acts. And whereas in August of 1963, Dr. King Jr. led the March on Washington to draw attention to African Americans' continuing challenges and inequalities a century after emancipation. And whereas during the march, 250,000 people gathered in front of the Lincoln Memorial in Washington, D.C., also known as the March on Washington for Jobs and Freedom, this march was the occasion of Dr. King Jr.'s I Have a Dream speech. The event aimed to advocate for the civil and economic rights of African Americans. And whereas, although he supported nonviolent resistance and civil disobedience, Dr. King Jr. was often the victim of violence, and on April 4th, 1968, he was assassinated in Memphis, Tennessee. And whereas in 1983, Martin Luther King Jr. Day became a federal holiday, commemorating Dr. King Jr.'s contribution to the civil rights movement. And whereas Dr. King Jr. dedicated his life to speaking out against injustice, inequality, poverty, and war. He said, "Injustice anywhere is a threat to justice everywhere." And whereas Martin Luther King Jr. Day is the only federal holiday designated as a national day of service to encourage all Americans to volunteer to improve their communities. During the last quarter century, the Martin Luther King Jr. Day of service has grown and its impacts have increased as more Americans embrace the idea that citizenship involves taking an active role in improving communities. Now, therefore, I, Rachel Anderson, Mayor of the City of Sequim, and on behalf of the City Council, do hereby proclaim Monday, January 19th, 2026, as Martin Luther King Jr. Day, a holiday, a day of service, and a celebration of the civil rights leader's life of legacy. Signed on this 12th day of January, Rachel Anderson, Mayor. All right, would any member of council like to have any words before I move on to the next proclamation? Alrighty.
Yes.
The next one is for National Human Trafficking Month. Whereas human trafficking, also known as trafficking in persons, includes both forced labor and sex trafficking. It not only represents a threat to international peace and security, but also undermines the rule of law, robs millions of their dignity and freedom, enriches transnational criminals and terrorists, and threatens public safety and national security everywhere. And whereas the Federal Trafficking Victims Protection Act, passed in 2010, enshrined the United States commitment to combating human trafficking domestically and internationally. And whereas in 2010, by presidential proclamation, President Barack Obama declared January National Slavery and Human Trafficking Prevention Month. And every year since, each president has followed this tradition. And whereas human trafficking is a humanitarian crisis that is a form of modern-day slavery, human trafficking disproportionately impacts racial and ethnic minorities, women and girls, LGBTQI+ individuals, vulnerable migrants, and other historically marginalized and underserved communities. And whereas in 2025, there were an estimated 27.6 million people, adults and children, subjected to human trafficking around the world, including in the United States. Traffickers often take advantage of instability caused by natural disasters, conflict, or a pandemic to exploit others. And whereas the City of Sequim joins the nation in proclaiming January 2026 as National Human Trafficking Prevention Month, we make this proclamation to raise awareness of this issue, to educate the public about how to identify and prevent this crime, and to issue a call to action for all to recognize the vital role everyone can play in combating all forms of human trafficking. And whereas there are numerous state and national resources available to help combat human trafficking, such as the National Human Trafficking Hotline, 1-888-373-7888. Washington State Task Force, Human Trafficking, and the U.S. Department of State's United States Advisory Council on Human Trafficking and Human Trafficking Hotlines. Now therefore, I, Rachel Anderson, Mayor of the City of Sequim, and on behalf of the City Council, do hereby recognize January 2026 as National Human Trafficking Prevention Month, signed on this 12th day of January 2026. City Clerk, is there anyone here to accept the proclamation?
No, but Dee Kester, I think her statement is attached to that proclamation, and she asked that it
Yes.
be read. Thank you.
Excellent. Sign this real quick. All right. A statement from D. Rhodes Kester, the COO founder of Washington State Native American Coalition Against Domestic Violence and Sexual Assault. It is my honor to accept this proclamation on behalf of the many victims, survivors, and service providers in our area who are impacted by human trafficking and sex trafficking. We in Sequim and surrounding communities are especially vulnerable to human trafficking. We are near and on waterways where foreign and domestic players have easy access. We are near casinos and other high traffic areas that make human trafficking, sex trafficking, and other crimes go easily undetected by authorities. We have geographical areas that are hidden and shielded from oversight, like national parks, forestry lands. As law enforcement and resources to combat this type of crime are stretched, we are highly exposed and vulnerable, and our victimization rates rise, especially for culture-specific communities. Again, I thank the Sequim City Council once more for recognizing January as Human Trafficking, Sex Trafficking Month, and we invite victims to reach out to us at 360-681-3701. and for our Family Safety Center services. Thank you. D. Rhodes Kester, COO founder of Washington State Native American Coalition Against Domestic Violence and Sexual Assault. And does any council member have any words they would like to say on that proclamation? Yes, Harmony.
I just want to kind of echo the sentiment that I felt was a little bit in a common sentiment that I was feeling, and I definitely connected with Councillor Butler at the end of the last proclamation, and I feel that this proclamation is, they're both is so timely in this time that we are finding ourselves in this country. It's so important to make known our commitment to policies and well, let me back up a sec. Making sure that we state our support for I'm sorry, I'm at a loss of words at this moment, but that we are not at a loss of words for supporting these types of important projects and initiatives and statements and policies. So thank you very much. Appreciate you and this council taking time to recognize both Martin Luther King Jr. Day and National Sex Trafficking Month. So thank you. Thank you for reading those, Mayor Anderson.
Any other comments before we move on? All right. I will now move on to the public comment section of the agenda. This is a limited public forum. Individuals providing public comment must not disrupt or otherwise impede the orderly conduct of the meeting. This is not a forum for hate speech. The City of Sequim supports the public's First Amendment right to free speech, but it does not support hate speech. Speakers are expected to be courteous and refrain from making hateful comments, sounds, or remarks. Any offensive words and conduct shared by the public do not reflect the city's values. The City of Sequim stands firm in its commitment to being an inclusive community and rejects discrimination of any kind. City Clerk.
For individuals attending in person, please take a moment to silence your cell phones. In a moment, I will collect the public comment sign-in sheet. Each person will have 3 minutes to speak on any topic, and there will be a timer visible on the screen. A total of 30 minutes or 10 speakers will be permitted for public comment. When your name is called, please state your name if you are representing an organization and your city of residence. And no one signed up for remote public comment, so we will start with Judith Pasco.
Good evening. My name is Judith Pasco. I'm a Sequim resident, and I am not representing any organization. I have been driving safely for 62 years, no accidents, but in the last few months, there have been a couple of near misses. And I started thinking about the possibility of voluntarily stopping driving. So I did some research, and I'm going to fill you in on a few of the things I found out. And the organizations that I called that I mentioned are not all of them. But first I talked to Clallam Transit, and you have to be 80 or disabled. I'm not 80 yet. I've got a couple years too, and I'm not disabled. Then a friend of mine was using Pingo, and I got all excited, thought that might be a really good thing. That's also under Clallam Transit's auspices. And they have a line, then if you live south of the border of the highway, you cannot get their services at all. A friend who lives 2 miles north of the highway does get their services, but I can't get their services. So then I called Uber, and Uber to get from my house, which is up at Silberhorn and 7th, to any medical facility here in the city, like 6 to 8 minutes driving, costs $22 to $24 each way, which when you're going to a medical appointment would be rather, as much as people our age go to appointments, this would be a real drain. So then I called the police and I talked to them about it. And I'd also found out that people typically drive 7 to 9 years longer than they should, right? And it's one thing when people are approached with this, people sometimes say, I don't want to drive with you. No one's ever said that to me. But if you approach somebody and say, I'm not really comfortable driving with you, they get very defensive and they keep driving. I talked to a man the other day who somehow brought the topic up, and he said, I'm thinking about stopping driving and I'm 93. So when I talked to the police, we talked about the number of fender benders and other accidents in this demographic. Sequim has a particularly high age demographic. So then I did a little research, and I found some cities in the United States that partner with Uber and either provide some kind of voucher for people that don't quite meet the age or disability limits. And for example, in Kyle, Texas, they allow rides within the city for $3.14. And a place, Tucson, Arizona, has a micro transit program with Uber using QR codes. These programs are generally designed to provide a cost-effective alternative to, not me. I'm sorry. These programs are generally designed to provide a cost-effective alternative to fixed route bus services, and they often target specific populations like seniors. I think that if older drivers like me knew about or we could rely, for example, on something like this, a voucher system or some way that we can partner with some transit agency or getting Pingo to go south of the line, that I think more people would voluntarily give up driving. And I think that would take a lot of people that shouldn't be driving off the road with really no stigma attached. And I think it would be a big boon for seniors. And I think it might be something the city of Sequim would like to consider doing.
Shatoya Delator.
Hi, I'm Shatoya De La Torre, and I live in Sequim, and I'm not with any organization. I'm just here tonight to support Judith because I am coming up on that time when I also may not want to drive. I don't drive at night now. And I think it's so important with our elder community that we provide these services. And my husband and I moved from Chimacum partly because of getting older and we couldn't chop wood anymore and do all the things to take care of the 5 acres we had there. And so we moved to this community mainly because of affordability and also because of the services that were available to elders. And we really appreciate being so close to our medical and the various things that we need to purchase. But there will be a time when we can't go there ourselves. And when Judith brought this up, it was very concerning to me because we live on our Social Security. We can't afford a $40 trip to the doctor. So I hope that the city will consider this dilemma and move towards doing something about it. And you have our emails if you need people to work with you or help you with research. I'd be glad to do that. And if there's any kind of availability in the budget to work with us, I think it's an important issue. So thank you so much for hearing both of us today. Appreciate it.
Annette Hansen.
Hello, my name is Annette Hansen. I live in Sequim, and I just wanted to, somewhat like the ceremonial announcement previously, let you know that January 24th is International Day of Education. And what this means is that back in 2019, the United Nations General Assembly selected to proclaim this day to help celebrate education in its right and importance in the development of our nations. And one thing that I thought was pretty interesting when they talk about the role of education, they see it as highly valuable in promoting peace also. And they first observed this in 2019, and they highlight education as a human right, a public responsibility, and a crucial tool for achieving sustainable development. And in honor of this, the Sequim Sister City Association, working with the city and working with Shiso Japan, they have scheduled a 90-minute online cultural and education exchange live on either I think on Teams. And we have pulled students from earlier ambassador exchanges to Japan and chaperones and administrators, some parents together, both from Shiso and the United States, from Sequim, and we're going to be entertaining each other with cultural activities. We're going to be talking about their experiences when our students got to go to Japan and when they got to host students here and what that meant to them in their own personal development. And so we're doing this in honor of that International Day. And so I just want to thank the city for your continued support of the Sister City program and see that it is recognized worldwide. It's something that's very important to us today. So thank you.
And that concludes public comment.
Thank you to everyone that spoke this evening. We will now move on to the consent agenda. City Clerk, if you would like to.
Items on tonight's consent agenda, claim vouchers totaling $1,094,151.20. City Council meeting minutes from December 12th, 2025. Flora's Acres design contract. The curb ramp replacement project, a grant agreement. The WSDOT Trail, a lease agreement. Update to City Council Rules of Procedure, Article 4, a resolution. Planning Commission appointment, a resolution. Hach FloDar sole source purchase, a resolution. And the 2026 council meeting schedule.
Is there a motion to approve the consent agenda as presented?
Move to approve as presented.
Second.
Thank you so much. Any opposed? Seeing none, the consent agenda is approved. And the only thing now on general business is the general amendment to the Criminal Justice Services interlocal agreement. I didn't know if you wanted to recuse yourself from
Yeah,
the
I think there's just a difference between authorizing the city manager to negotiate and then actual voting on it, whether or not I have a comment from the city attorney on it. I still think I have issue with voting on that, so unless there's substantive reason why I shouldn't recuse myself, I still would like to. So other than that.
Okay.
So as I believe I stated at the last council meeting, unless I'm not understanding your position at the county, you are not in a position to be negotiating on the, receiving information on the county's negotiation side as a part of your role. And therefore the ethics issues in the ethics code state that you would likely be a remote conflict of interest, meaning you don't have any standing, you don't have any influence in the outcome of the county's negotiations.
Correct, yeah. I don't know, it's just I think there's a difference between telling this man he can negotiate and me actually voting on what the outcome of that is. So I'm gonna.
And I'm not the city attorney, and I don't want to confuse it, and sometimes I overtalk, but I think what the mayor is saying is because he works for one of the 4 components of the criminal justice system or process, jail being one of 4 things that we have bundled together with the county, and that's the point. So it's a bigger process, a bigger issue than most, but that's the clarification of the context probably.
And I don't believe there would be any issue if you voted on it. But I totally want to respect.
I'm pretty low on that totem pole.
If you
trust me. But yeah, I'm gonna.
Okay.
Just because it feels funky. Like I said, there's a difference between saying you can negotiate and then actually voting on it, and I think there's a difference there. So
okay, I will respect your opinion on it. Now, when we say I would like to recuse myself, does that mean one would have to physically remove themselves from the room? Yes. Okay. Sorry. Thank you, Brandon.
And while Brandon is removing himself from the room, I move to approve Amendment 1 to the Criminal Justice Services ILA. Don't go far, Brandon.
Second.
Is anyone opposed? No. All right. Seeing no opposition, it is approved. Thank you, everybody, for your time. Good to see you. It's been a while. All right. Moving down to info only. Carla, come on down.
All right. Well, good evening, Mayor and City Council, members of the public and staff. It's my pleasure as Carla Boughton, Interim DCED Director, to give you your monthly update on the comprehensive plan. And in your packet, you'll have see the memo that I normally provide you. And so I want to just take a moment to recognize the technical work as well as the review of the policy chapters of the comprehensive plan that was conducted by your planning commission in 2025. So as I reported in November, they've been hard at work and they continued to the end in December to had both their meetings in December to finish out the policy document. That concluded with a issuance of a red line, Planning Commission red line policy document that has been posted on the website. And I did provide you, the City Council, an email announcing its availability and encouraging you to check out that policy document. And I think, as you probably noted in the memo, that we will be spending a lot of time together in the next 6 months to get the comprehensive plan over the finish line in June. So I just wanted to note that the plan that the council will start meeting in February about reviewing that red line version. And while we're working on that, the Planning Commission will be working on a full rewrite and complete update of Title 17 of the Sequim Municipal Code, which is now titled Land Division. It was titled Subdivisions, but we have some different types of land division now per the state that is not necessarily technically a subdivision. So that has been months in the making. And so we are very excited to announce that that was released on January 2nd. It is being reviewed by the Planning Commission. They've already had their meeting last week on it. They'll have another one next week. And then in addition to that, we have a very specific code amendment to Title 18, which is the zoning code. And it's called supplemental housing requirements, which are that bundle of code requirements that the state has mandated for housing, such as allowing for 2 accessory dwelling units per lot, parking requirements. So a number of things that we are bundling together into a new chapter in Title 18. So that is going on while we're also finishing up the capital facility plan of the comprehensive plan, all culminating in an April 1st release of the comprehensive plan. So with that, I'll just conclude my statements and happy to answer any questions that you might have on the memo or where we're going, and because we will be busy this year up to June. So
I don't have any questions. I'm just so grateful and appreciative for the smooth work and transition of all of this work, because it's so much, right? And when you first came to us with like, this is all the things we need to do, it was a little scary and intimidating, but it's so excellent to be able to see the progress being made on it bit by bit. And I'm just so appreciative. So thank you so much.
You're very welcome.
I was listening in on the Planning Commission meeting last week, and I just want to say thank you so much for the red line, because it really helps break it down and understand. That was a complex one last week.
Mm-hmm. Yes. We were starting our Title 18 or Title 17, the land division. And so, yeah. Well, great. Well, I look forward to spending some quality time with y'all in the next couple months. So thank you.
Thank you, Carla. All righty, moving on to reports. Our youth liaisons. What do you have for us this week? Also, how was winter break?
For purposes of the record, this is Layla, youth liaison speaking. Thank you for asking. Winter break was fantastic. I slept a lot. Yeah, so I'll just say the senior class play is planned to be February 7th and 8th. And we have started doing auditions. It's going to be a SNL skit type thing this year, so that's exciting. And then there is no school on January 19th in honor of Martin Luther King. And then next week, leadership has a spending that week on projects in honor of Martin Luther King Jr.
Hi there. For purposes of the record, Lincoln Forest. Also sorry for the musical chairs. It was last second I was going to be here. I didn't tell either of these two. I am probably should be the last person to give a student liaison report to both the school board and city council in one night. So my only thing to report is the school board appreciation month is this month, January. And yeah.
For the purposes of the record, this is Lily, the Youth Liaison speaking. Coming up, we have Winter Ball on January 24th, and I think everybody's excited for that. The sophomores are planning it. The end of the semester is January 16th, so we have a special day or special 2 days for finals, especially scheduled for that. And then Knowledgeable, is that? Oh, there's a Knowledgeable tournament on the 15th. That's it.
One more thing, we would really appreciate the if you guys showed up to the senior class play. It should be really funny, really funny. I'm writing 3 of the skits, so if it's not, I probably didn't write that section.
Just don't tell them if you didn't like it.
I believe in your writing ability. Thank you for the updates, everybody. Any questions for our youth liaisons?
What days are the senior class play on again?
February 7th and 8th.
Great. Thank you so much.
All right, city manager, you're up.
Thank you, new mayor, and it's wonderful to watch the proceedings and be able to participate in those that transition. So thank you, and good luck. Look forward to working with all of you. To begin with, I just wanted to give the council an update on the criminal justice addendum agreement that we recently signed. That the commissioners, as you know, have accepted that. A lot of work at last minute over the holidays done by attorneys at the city and at the county. So my hat's off to Christina, who worked long and hard to get that ironed out. We've already met with our consultants. We don't really expect anything significant there, but just wanted for this, really for council and for ourselves, just to verify some data with some people that are subject matter experts in this. Had our first kickoff meeting last week, and we'll be meeting weekly for a month or so to just move as fast as we can. So anyway, feel really good about that. I was going to highlight Carla's work on the planning commission. I also attend those meetings, and I'm amazed not only with her preparation and her ability to articulate so many changes and to keep such a humongous ball rolling forward, but also if you see any of your planning commissioners about, they really study their packet and their materials, and they come fully loaded to ask questions and to give input to that. So I really appreciate that she's working long and hard to make sure that our comp plan is done by next summer, and that's a big lift. So thank you, Carla. We also, this past week, finalized our audit and had a next interview with the state auditor's office, and of course had great results from that. I don't think we had any recommendations at all. A lot of compliments from some seasoned auditors. So thanks to Sue and her staff for that. As you know, we have 4 open positions right now. One in IT, which is key, and been looking for that for a while, a GIS and business analytics administrator. 2 in the PD, but I sent you all an email today about an announcement in our public works department. So, sad and happy, right? Sad to be losing a really instrumental key pillar on our senior management team, and happy that he gets to, move on and pursue personal things and family matters. So that's going to be initiated, I think today or tomorrow. We'll get that out and to the market. We also have been, HR has been working with all of the senior management teams to bring in the annual performance reviews and to finalize the year. So I want to thank IT for, there was a request, I don't know if it was from one of you or from staff, but to create a mobile microphone so that you could walk around with a clip on your ear. So this chamber is now, they found that and fixed that and tested that. And so we have that capacity in here now as well with all the rest of the technology in here. Finally, I just want to take a moment to thank Public Works again. Megan's really key at this, as is Paul. They both serve on a regional committee, working with our solid waste materials on the rates and on the process and a lot of things. They are preparing a presentation for you, mostly informational only for your next meeting, but their Murray Disposal is proposing a rate increase due to increases to their tipping fees and whatnot. So we'll update you and our residents on that. We have very little to say about that. It's mostly a pass through, but cost of living kind of expenses. So I got updated on that a couple days ago, and we plan on updating you next council meeting. So, any questions?
Thank you, Matt, as always, for a good report. Circling back to the community economic development, the work that you're doing, Carla's doing with the Developers Forum, I think it just continues to be a really valuable place of interaction with a key element of our local economy, and I appreciate that. It gives me an opportunity to ask, has there been any better communication with West Bay?
So let me answer both parts of that. Number one is that development forum started about 4 years ago, because I think it was my first week when I was invited into this chamber and got ambushed by a lot. It was COVID. It was a different world in 2020, and just a lot of real valid complaints. And we promised, or I did, right in that very first interaction with them, that we would be meeting with them and listening to them and addressing all of their complaints. And we have kept that up, and Carla's been wonderful as well. So we meet with them quarterly. We invite them. We provide a small breakfast, and I think they've really appreciated that dialogue and that relationship. So thank you, Carla, and your team for that. Secondarily, I don't know much about it, but I did hear wind of something being worked out with Seabrook and property owners, and that a deadline that must have existed in some paperwork or some agreement was amended or extended or something. I'm not sure, but that it was a favorable thing for both parties. And so we'll see. We haven't started a conversation with them, but continue to invite them. And I think that will probably happen now with an extension of some agreement.
Thank you.
Questions for the city manager before we move on? All right, council committee reports. Does anybody have any updates? No updates. Okay. Moving on to open council discussion. So for council on the dais, I have for you, okay, let me back it up. So the Association of Washington Cities has a scholarship opportunity. Thank you, Harmony, for bringing it to my attention. A scholarship opportunity available for graduating seniors. That's the great news. The bad news is that a municipality can only nominate one graduating senior. Quite unfortunate, but also excellent that you get to have a chance at a scholarship opportunity. So that's great. So what I did was developed a questionnaire, because we do have 2 graduating seniors this year. And it felt weird to just like pick one and be done with it. So developed this questionnaire for them to fill out, so it would be a little bit easier for us to unbiasedly, is that a word? Make a determination or recommendation. So I'll give you guys a few minutes to look at those. But I will also say my recommendation to nominate would be candidate B. And I tried to black out their names because I didn't want it to be like really weird and awkward since they're up here with us.
Do we each go now saying who we prefer over the?
So yeah. So I guess my thought process was that I would recommend a candidate to council, but totally open to hearing if you disagree with that and would prefer the other candidate. If there are disagreements, then we could put it to a vote just to make sure there's like council guidance for me to go with, really. Just making sure there's nothing else. Yeah, that's.
Rachel, on candidate B, is it an omission that they don't yet know where they're going to school, or is obviously the write-up is indicating that they're seriously planning to go to school, but
That I don't know. I did not ask.
I would just like to confirm that both Layla and I have serious intent on going to school. Yes.
There's a lot of options. I don't know how people pick an option like when you're a junior. Like, how do you do that? How do you know?
the other question I had, if these are very helpful, the CVs and so on, did you actually spend time with the candidates? Is some of your recommendation based on interview?
No, in a perfect world, I would have had time over the holiday to be able to do that. I'm hoping it's something I can do next year to get ahead of it. If it ends up being the case in future years that I would like to interview them. So it kind of felt like I was scrambling really to try and figure out like a process that would be unbiased and that everybody could see an input or have an input on. So that being said, no, I did not do interviews and am basing it strictly on their questionnaire, just personally. Also, sorry.
No, that's okay. I would like to say that based on reading the questionnaires, thank you for preparing them. Thank you to the nominees for filling out the questionnaires. I also thought that the questionnaire filled out by candidate B was the one that came to the top for me through the process. Thank you again for everybody.
All right, any other questions, feedback, input? I'm not seeing any, so.
I'm quite happy to go with your recommendation.
Okay, excellent. That was my next question. If you're comfortable moving forward with that, I will reach out to the candidate to figure out next steps. They had a lot of steps, so I'm having a hard time remembering exactly what comes next. I think they need to write an essay or get something, but okay. Okay, so we will move forward with candidate B. And then moving on to open council discussion, letter B, the part of the scholarship process includes a letter of support from council as their nomination packet. And so I just wanted to show you what the letter of support would look like. And it was kind of hard to write it up without knowing who the nominated candidate would be. So I put in their, nominee name, insert here. So I just wanted to make sure everybody is okay moving forward with that. So I have council consensus so that I know what I'm putting into the packet on the city's behalf. Not hearing any nays. Harmony?
It's a fantastic letter. Thank you for preparing it. There is one little typo at the end. In the spot where it lists out the council members, there needs to be a space and the word member needs to be capitalized. But other than that, it's an excellent letter. Thank you for preparing it.
Thank you for catching that. All right, is everybody comfortable me moving forward with that? Yes. Okay. Excellent. Thank you so much. 14C, I wasn't sure if city clerk wanted to take that one. It's really just transparency to, I think a few meetings ago, I had suggested that we start making a plaque so that we can commemorate and remember all of our youth liaisons. I think it's like such a cool visual to see your name on a plaque, you know? Might just be me. So I just I got council consensus saying council's okay with me looking into that. I worked with Shannon and Heather in the legal department / city clerk's office. And so she, Heather Robley, our city clerk, recommended I add it to the agenda just for total transparency so that council can know how much it costs. Or
I'm trying to pull up the email so I can give
thank you.
dollar amounts. Stand by.
I probably could too. Stand by. Red 4, standing by. Oh, I think I found it. Okay. Maybe.
I have it if you do not.
Oh, excellent.
Okay.
Go for it.
So one of the things that Mayor Anderson asked us to also look into was the youth liaisons that we have going in the past. So adding their names to the plaque as well. And we found 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 that we have records for. So each plate would be $12 each. So just for council's information.
Yep. Any questions on that?
So this is like a larger plaque that then you have a perpetual plaque and you add the name bed. Okay. Excellent.
Yeah. And also factoring in, it'll be a while before we run out of space on it, but also we thought it might be better to, instead of saying, 2025 to 2026, Layla Sundin, it would be like Layla Sundin 2024 to 2026. So having their whole, however long they were on there on each of their little plaques. I hope that makes sense.
Which vendor did you say we were working with?
That I don't have handy.
Okay.
Shannon went online and did some cost comparisons, and she found had 3 different suggestions that she presented. One was high end, middle end, and low end. And I think we went with the middle of the road vendor.
Okay.
So, but I can track
if-
down a name for if you're interested.
I was gonna say, there's a really excellent, what about Peninsula Awards and Engraving right here in Squim?
They were on the higher end, so we were trying to be mindful of council's budget.
Thank you.
Yeah, but also, if I'm remembering correctly, some of the options were just too little. Like they didn't have as many plaques, like sections that I was hoping for, if that makes sense. Since I would like it to be, for a long time, I would like to see a lot of names on it instead of like 10 names. So, yeah.
Cool.
That's great. I'm really glad that that they were considered and researched. It's always good to go local if we can.
There's no more questions. Move on to the 2026 council committee assignments.
Thank you, council. I'm going to bring up the our chart. So it is that time of year where we need to go through, council needs to go through the chart. I'm going to try and shrinky dink it a little bit so it's so large. But there are a couple committees that council must fill the vacancies on. So Councilor Lowe, when she left, she was on the LTAC the Lodging Tax Advisory Committee, the Peninsula Regional Transportation Planning Organization, the Sequim Planning Commission, and the Clallam County Homelessness Task Force. So of those, 2 of them are required, state requirements, so the LTAC and the PRTPO.
Just a comment correction. I actually filled the primary role on the homelessness task force, and Vicky was the alternate on that.
Okay, thank you for
and
that.
that's recorded in the spreadsheet. Just a correction on the your cover sheet.
Thank you, Counselor.
Yeah.
I am able to commit to the Lodging Tax Advisory Committee, and I'm already the primary on the PRTPO, so I can't be the alternate for that one.
Okay, so I will take.
What do you want to take on, Pete?
I was going to even suggest that if Rachel didn't want to do the LTAC, I would do it.
I belay my suggestion and refer it to Pete.
Okay.
That would be great. Thanks, Pete.
And I'll be the secondary on the RTBO.
Cool.
Is his microphone on?
It is.
Okay.
I just talk very quietly.
I'm just talking to the record. So am I hearing that Councilor Temslin, you're going to be replace Vicky on the LTAC?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
You can just put TJ if you want. It might be easier.
I will do that going forward in case you sign up for any more committees.
I'll take her position on the PRTPO too, if that's okay.
Actually, oh, it's 26. And I will be changing the top, so it'll say Pete Temslin at the top, not Vicky Lowe when we get all done. And Councilor Lowe was also the alternate for the Sequim Planning Commission liaison. And Nicole's the primary.
I can do that.
Thank you, Pete.
And the last one would be the Clallam County Homelessness Task Force.
And that's the alternate, correct? Dan's the primary. I could be the alternate.
No, Councilor Hartman? Okay. Okay. So one other, the Clallam County Board of Health, every 3 years, that's a rotating position between the city of Sequim, city of Forks, and the city of Port Angeles. So this is city of Sequim's turn to be the representative for that organization.
Sorry, can you clarify, is it, the term says 3 years, so.
This will be 26, 27, 28.
Okay, so does that kind of imply it needs to be one of the councilors that's just recently been elected for a 4-year term?
Yes.
How often do they meet? I was trying to. How often do they meet?
How often? Every month, once a month. It's the third Tuesday of every month at 1:30.
I'm looking at my schedule or out in the audience. Okay.
My gosh, you have your own assistant?
No, my scheduling official.
Thank you for your service.
Does that need an alternate?
No, it does not. We could, they probably wouldn't mind if you wanted one, but if you want to, I could pitch it to them. And then I want to hop back up to the Clallam Transit System Board. I know that we have it set right now where we've got Kelly and Counselor Anderson, Counselor Janice is the alternate. If those appointments want to stay the same, but I received a letter from the Transit System Board requesting written notification of our elected officials to represent the city in 2026. So those appointments can stay the same unless people want to change.
I can commit to that one.
Yeah, same. I'm good.
Okay.
It'll be the same go that it'll just be a name only though, since I wouldn't be able to attend any of them.
Yeah. All right. I think that's all I have for council committee assignments. Thank you, council.
Thank you, City Clerk. I just want to, before moving forward, just want to confirm everybody is still good with their committee assignments. Okay. I thought I was going to have to let some go because of a new job, but it looks like I will be good. Fingers crossed going forward. Okay. All right. Thank you, council. And City Clerk, thank you for your time. Where's my mouse? There it is. Harmony, yeah.
Mayor, before we move on to item number 15 on the agenda, I just wanted to take a moment to thank you and Brandon for the roles that you have fulfilled in our city's leadership on council. Thank you both very, very much for all of the hard work that you put in over the last 2 years. It's been truly an honor to be a Sequim City Councilor, and it's been amazing to watch and work with you and as a counselor in this process. So thank you very much to both of you.
Thank you. It's been a fun ride. Every day is an adventure. So thank you. Does anybody else have anything for open council discussion?
I'd like to take a minute. I've found it difficult to find the right words to speak into the record following the death of Renee Good last week in Minneapolis. But I've settled on 3 things. It's obviously very disheartening to observe how the same event is viewed so differently depending on the lens that one wears. And it's my hope and aspiration that our community and those of us that live in this beautiful city and our neighbors in the county will continue to rise above that division and continue to work toward a common goal of making this the best possible place to live for anybody who wants to live here. Secondly, in my faith community, we have as a part of our liturgy a reminder to pray for our elected officials and our unelected policymakers. And I've found that particularly challenging. We also pray for an informed and active citizenry. So our residents are an encouraging reminder to me that we have an informed and active citizenry in this community. And then finally, I want to explicitly say to Chief Hill and our police force that we respect you and value you and the professional example of responsible law enforcement in our community. We've recognized and celebrated lives saved by our officers in this chamber this past year. So I thank you, and may you continue to be safe in your responsibilities as you serve us. That's all.
Thank you for that message. Anything else for open council discussion? All right. Moving on to planning. So the agenda meetings going forward, the day and time of them could change. I will reach out to Nicole to figure out a good time that works for us, but also a good time for staff so that it can all get situated in a good time for everybody. And with that, when we figure out something, either I or city clerk will reach out to council, letting them know the new day and time if there ends up being one. That way, if you're interested in going, you can let us know. And I guess that's it. Our regular next city council meeting will be January 26th at 6 p.m. I don't think we have a work session planned for that one.
No work session, but there will be a public hearing that night.
Okay, thank you so much. And with that, I hope everybody drives home safely. Can I get a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
I'll second that.
Thank you. Any opposed? All right, adjourned. Thank you so much, everyone.